Have you ever wondered, when we reach the age of 50, can love still feel as passionate as it once did? Many people believe that when the body begins to change, intimacy and affection naturally fade away. But the truth is far more beautiful. I've heard countless couples share that after 50, they actually discovered a deeper tenderness, a more genuine closeness, and the purest form of love. At this stage, love is no longer about fleeting impulses or fiery desires. It becomes a steady flame, gentle, warm, and enduring, yet powerful enough to keep two hearts connected for the rest of life. The most amazing part is, with the right approach, intimacy in midlife can be even sweeter, more meaningful, and more binding than ever before. And in this video, we'll uncover the secret. Why does love after 50 still have the power to stay as magical as the very first day? Welcome, dear friends. This is Love Road, a place where we share stories of real love, meaningful journeys, and the beauty of companionship through every stage of life. Here, we believe that love has no age limit. Whether you are 20, 50, or 70, the heart still longs to be understood, cared for, and truly seen. That is why on this channel, we explore the secrets of lasting love, emotional connection, and the little things that make relationships stronger every day. If you also believe that love is not just a memory of the past, but a lifelong journey, I invite you to subscribe to Love Road and join our community. Together, let's discover how to keep love alive, warm, and inspiring. When we talk about love after the age of 50, most people assume it is a chapter of fading desire, a time when passion slowly slips away like sand between the fingers. Yet the truth I've witnessed and lived is entirely different. Love in this season of life is not merely about bodies seeking fulfillment. It is about souls longing for connection, about hearts craving warmth, and about companionship that becomes even more precious with age. When you've walked through decades together, through storms, through victories, through the quiet routines of daily life, intimacy takes on a deeper meaning. It no longer depends on the fire of youth, the rush of hormones, or the thrill of novelty. Instead, it is woven into the gentle fabric of gestures so simple that outsiders might overlook them. A hand reaching for another hand in the silence of an evening walk. Eyes that meet across a dinner table, carrying within them years of shared history and unspoken understanding. A whisper of encouragement at the moment when life feels too heavy. These things, though small, have the power to make a woman feel cherished, or a man feel truly valued, in a way that no physical passion alone can achieve. True intimacy after 50 thrives on respect. It is the respect of knowing that the body of your partner has changed, just as yours has, and that every wrinkle, every scar, every sign of time is not something to hide but something to honor. It is the patience of slowing down, of no longer rushing through closeness as though it were a task to be completed, but savoring it as a moment to be shared. And above all, it is the presence, the ability to be fully there, not distracted by work, by phones, by the constant noise of the world, but to sit beside your partner with undivided attention. I have seen men who thought that once their strength faded, they had nothing left to offer. But when they held their wife's hand and simply listened, truly listened, their presence became more powerful than any youthful vigor. I have seen women who thought they had lost their beauty, only to realize that the radiance in their eyes, the softness in their voice, the grace of their spirit, made them more captivating than ever before. There is something irresistibly tender about love at this stage. It is a kind of quiet seduction, not of bodies but of hearts. The charm lies not in fiery passion, but in the way someone remembers how you like your tea, or notices when you are tired, or tells you that you are still the most important person in their world. It is the warmth of a blanket shared on a cold night, the laughter over old memories, the comfort of knowing that you don't have to pretend, because with this person, you are completely seen. When we are young, we chase grand gestures. We think love must be loud, dramatic, overwhelming. But after 50, we discover its true essence. It is in the soft glow of companionship, in the patience that allows us to breathe together, in the respect that tells us, you still matter, more than ever. The sweetness of intimacy does not vanish with time. It simply transforms. It becomes more subtle, more enduring, and far more real. And so when I think of love in this stage of life, I don't see something diminished. I see something distilled, not the raging fire of youth, but the steady flame that warms a home and lights the path forward. Love after 50 is not about how strong the body is, but about how open the heart remains. It is about being present enough to let the other know, I am here with you, and I still choose you, every single day. There comes a time in life when we realize that intimacy is no longer just about the body responding to touch, but about how touch becomes a language of the heart. After 50, every gesture carries weight, every caress whispers a story, and every pause is filled with meaning. The body may not be as quick as it once was, yet in its tenderness lies a secret beauty, the chance to connect more deeply than ever before. There are places on a woman's body that hold more than physical sensitivity. They are gateways to emotional closeness. The first is what I like to call the entrance of intimacy. It may seem obvious, ordinary even, but for a woman who has walked through childbirth, menopause, or medical challenges, this place becomes fragile, layered with memories and emotions. To approach it with haste is to miss its true gift. But when touched with patience, with reverence, with eyes that say, "I honor you," it becomes more than a physical act. It transforms into reassurance, into acceptance, into the gentle reminder that she is still worthy of being loved, respected, and desired. The second area is one many men overlook, the tender circle around the urethra. It appears unremarkable at first glance, yet it holds an extraordinary power. A brush as light as the breeze, the soft graze of fingertips, or the kiss of lips can awaken sensations that ripple like quiet waves across her body. It is not about pressure or force, but about presence, about moving slowly enough to notice how her breath changes, how her body leans in ever so slightly, how her eyes soften. This is where intimacy ceases to be performance and becomes poetry, where touch is no longer mechanical but alive with curiosity and affection. And then there is the front wall, the place many know as the G-spot. It is not simply a target to be found, nor a switch to be pressed. It is a landscape that requires patience, observation, and care. To explore here is to let go of ego and enter the realm of attentive listening. The kind of listening that notices the rhythm of her breathing, the subtle tremor in her voice, the unspoken signals in her eyes. Some describe the sensation as a warmth spreading inward, a wave that rises slowly and lingers deeply. But more important than the feeling itself is the sense of being understood, of being held in complete presence. What matters most is not technique, not speed, not even knowledge, but the art of slowing down enough to listen. A woman in her 50s or 60s does not need fireworks. She needs to feel safe, to feel honored, to feel that her partner is there not out of duty but out of love. When a man touches with patience, when he waits for her cues rather than imposing his own, when he allows silence to breathe between moments, something profound happens. She opens not just her body, but her heart. I have seen couples rediscover each other in this way. Men who once thought intimacy was about performance learning instead to linger, to observe, to care. Women who once feared that age had stolen their sensuality blossoming again, radiant with the glow of being truly seen. These sensitive zones are not just physical, they are doors. And when opened with tenderness, they lead to a connection far deeper than desire. They lead to trust, to belonging, to love renewed. In the end, it is never about complicated tricks or rehearsed methods. It is about presence. It is about being patient enough to let her body guide you, about being humble enough to listen with your hands, your eyes, your breath. The true magic of intimacy after 50 lies here. Not in seeking to replicate the wild passion of youth, but in discovering the beauty of slowness, of respect, of touch that says, "I am here, I see you, and I still choose you." There is a delicate truth about intimacy that many of us learn only with time. Just as there are places that invite closeness, there are places that can shut the heart if touched without care. Love, especially after 50, is no longer about exploring recklessly. It is about honoring boundaries as much as desires. To know where not to touch is as powerful as knowing where to touch, because restraint itself becomes a form of respect. The first place that often carries a silent story is the anus. For some, it is an area filled with vulnerability, linked not to pleasure but to discomfort, embarrassment, or even medical memories like hemorrhoids or surgery. To reach for it without consent is to risk stirring not passion, but shame. Yet when a man pauses, when he chooses not to go there unless there is a shared agreement, his partner feels something far greater than physical arousal. She feels safe. Safety in intimacy is the soil where trust grows, and trust is the foundation for love that lasts a lifetime. The second is the cervix. Many men believe it to be a secret center of pleasure, but for countless women, especially after menopause, it is a place of pain rather than joy. The body changes, tissues become thinner, dryness sets in, and sensitivity turns into soreness. What might have once been tolerated or even enjoyed can, with time, feel harsh and unwelcome. A woman may not always speak of it openly, but her body will send quiet signals. A flinch, a tensed breath, a subtle push away. The man who notices these signs, who slows down and whispers, "Are you comfortable?" gives her more than physical relief. He gives her the priceless gift of being heard. In those small questions lies a language of love that no technique can replace. And then there are the nipples. In youth, they might have been a reliable spark of desire, but the body evolves. For some women past 50, they can feel overly sensitive, even irritating with just a light touch. Others may find them painful if stimulated too roughly. What was once a trigger for excitement can become a source of annoyance or discomfort. The mistake many men make is to assume that what worked before must work forever. But love is not about repeating old scripts. It is about reading new chapters together. Sometimes the gentlest gesture, simply resting a warm hand over her chest in quiet reassurance, is enough to ignite closeness without the need for arousal. When a man learns to avoid these zones unless there is explicit trust and consent, he is not withholding passion. He is offering respect. And respect, especially in the intimacy of later life, carries a seduction more powerful than force ever could. It says, "I see you. I hear you. I honor your comfort above my desire." In that message lies the true key to intimacy, because a woman who feels safe, who knows her partner listens, will open herself more willingly than any physical technique could ever achieve. I have met couples who thought passion had left them, only to rediscover each other when they stopped pushing and started listening. They learned that love after 50 is not about conquering, but about caring. Not about proving, but about protecting. And in the gentle act of avoiding the wrong places, they found themselves closer than they had ever been. The beauty of intimacy is not in how much we touch, but in how wisely we touch. By respecting boundaries, by honoring the silent no in her body language, a man creates a space where the truest yes can bloom. That is where love transforms, from obligation into devotion, from routine into renewal. And in that moment, she does not just feel touched, she feels cherished. When we speak about intimacy after 50, every couple has their own story. Some may say, "We are closer now than ever," while others may feel uncertain, even distant. But what makes these differences so fascinating is that there is no single path to love. Each journey is unique, colored by the years you've shared, the challenges you've overcome, and the ways you've learned to care for each other. So let me ask you, how do you see love in this stage of life? Do you believe that passion fades, or do you think it simply transforms into something deeper, something more tender and lasting? Perhaps you have a small ritual with your partner, a simple gesture, or even a shared routine that keeps the spark alive. I would love to hear your thoughts. Share in the comments. What is one small act of love that makes you feel truly connected to your partner? It could be as simple as holding hands on a walk, cooking a favorite meal together, or whispering, "I'm here," when words are hard to find. Your story might just inspire someone else to see love in a new way. As we come to the end of today's journey, I hope you can feel the gentle truth we've been uncovering together. Love after 50 is not the end of passion, but the beginning of a new kind of closeness. It is no longer measured by intensity or speed, but by tenderness, patience, and the courage to listen. The real fire in a relationship at this stage doesn't come from force, it comes from presence. It comes from showing your partner, through every small gesture, that they are still seen, still valued, still chosen every single day. So, remember this, intimacy is not just about where you touch, but how you touch, with respect, with care, and with love. Sometimes the most powerful act is not doing more, but doing less, avoiding the places that cause discomfort, and focusing on the ones that open the heart. When your partner feels safe, when they feel truly heard, that's when love deepens into something unshakable. If today's video touched your heart, I invite you to give it a like, share it with someone who might need to hear this message, and most importantly, subscribe to Love Road. Here, we believe that love is a lifelong journey, and every stage has its own beauty. In our next video, we'll explore another secret of lasting relationships. Why the smallest daily gestures, like a kind word, a gentle smile, or sitting together in silence, can be more powerful than grand declarations of love. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. So stay with us, because the road of love is long, beautiful, and worth walking together, step by step, hand in hand.